Do I got to talk about this film? 3 films into this collection pack, and I still got 5 more to watch. And I do feel it's getting worse, because next up is Sharkman, with Jeffrey Combs and William Forsythe. And I just have a feeling, especially after watching the first 3 films, I have a feeling what's lying ahead. And I know some people out there are asking, why are you doing this to yourself? Why are you torturing yourself? I hope with these films, and I hope through this collection pack, that I'm able to save somebody out there who is the least bit curious. That I'm willing to put my body, my soul, and the last bit of my brain cells on the line. And 3 films in, I'm barely hanging on. My soul is barely hanging on. But I'm going to complete this mission. I'm going to complete this collection pack. Just remember, I'm doing this for y'all. For that one person out there who is curious. That I'm able to protect you from these films. So keep that in mind. I will complete this mission. I will get through. Praise God, amen. Okay, John here, and today talking about Malibu Shark Attack. Now, just to recap real quick on the first 2 films, Toxic Shark, I saw that some people like the film on IMDb. I see some of the reviews that it's silly fun. To each his own. I thought it was dumb. Sometimes I can have dumb fun with a creature feature, but Toxic Shark is just dumb and not fun. You got characters that you don't care about. The shark is really bad CGI. I mean, the shark is shooting acid from the top of its head, and when the people get hit by this acid, they don't burn. No burn effect. They just get sprayed by this green acid or green liquid. And it's just a stupid movie. It's a stupid movie. And again, if you like it, no worry. It's cool. But I've seen better creature features. It's just, to me, it was stupid. It was dumb. I can have dumb fun sometimes, but again, cast, just didn't care about. Really bad CGI with the shark. And I keep mentioning this, but, shooting acid that doesn't burn the victims. So Toxic Shark is a pile of dung. Shark in Venice is the second one, which I did review, which I would say is the worst. Stars Stephen Baldwin and Vanessa Johansson, again, who's the older sister of Scarlett Johansson. And it's just really abysmal. I mean, why Venice? Why are these sharks camping around the canals in Venice? Stephen Baldwin, I can't buy him doing action scenes. Vanessa Johansson, she, just not a good actress. And a lot of stolen footage, stock footage, scenes that just don't make sense. It gets a 2.5 in IMDb, and I can understand why. It's just, again, really abysmal, just really bad. Definitely one of the worst shark films that I've seen. And that could change, again, because I still got 5 more to go. And talking about, again, today, Malibu Shark Attack, which, and again, I still haven't seen Sharkman, so anything can happen. But at this moment, I would say that as far as the worst, it can go either way. Shark in Venice, Malibu Shark Attack. one of them, it could go either way. Okay, the plot, I'll just read off the back here because it's, easier. You got sunny Malibu is hit by a tsunami created by an underwater earthquake. The devastation brings with it an even more threat. Prehistoric, monstrous goblin sharks. Pretty much you have these characters, and earthquake hits, it unleashes the goblin sharks. You got the tsunami, which, again, came from the earthquake, but there's no devastation, which I'll talk about and rant about. And of course, like you imagine, the goblin sharks are really bad CGI. And yeah, it's just really bad. I think it gets a 3.3 in IMDb because I was looking it up while watching. And I did write down a few things as far as just some notes, like a few scenes to help me retain, because if I didn't write anything down, I would just forget, which could be a good thing because it's that bad. But again, just to help me, remember some of the stupidest, stupid scenes. But again, we'll start off with the characters, the cast. I just didn't care for this cast, the characters, especially the one blonde chick who I thought I've seen before. I'm like, who is she? And then she was in the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. She played like the female role in that film. I forgot the character, but I was like, okay, I knew I've seen her before in something, but I couldn't remember where she was from. So I looked it up, IMDb, and she was in that. I forgot the character's name. Why don't I just look it up right here, because I got my phone. This actress, Peta Wilson, who plays the character Heather in this film. She was Mina Harker in League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. And, looking at this cast, she's third to Sean Connery and Stuart Townsend. So she's one of the main characters in that film. She was also in Superman Returns and some other TV shows and such. And yeah, I thought she was bad here. Especially in the beginning where she's kind of low voice. Like, what's up with her voice? It's very low. Like this. It's like, she's trying to talk like Steven Seagal. Like a female Steven Seagal. But anyways, I didn't care for her character, and these other characters, just nobodies. Again, you don't care about. Just like Toxic Shark. Making me cough. You don't care about these characters. But, getting to the notes, I mean, first off, the Goblin Sharks. The Goblin Sharks. Now, I would say this. The idea of the Goblin Shark, if they made a creature feature where it was practical, I could probably get behind it. If you had one or two actors in there that I could care about, like let's say if you made a creature feature, and I don't know who you would cast in that, but if you had the Goblin Sharks practical, where it's practical effect, no cartoony CGI BS, then perhaps I can get behind it a little bit more. Not this PlayStation 2 graphics, PS3 graphics. But I just, it would be interesting if it was done better for sure. I mean, because the Goblin Shark has a unique look. And I keep picturing, what if it was a better movie with, better characters, but instead you got really bad CGI. And it's a TV film. I don't know if it was sci-fi made. Um, I don't know, but you know, again, the characters I don't care about. Now, and the tsunami, I wrote, about the tsunami. What's weird is, and this is where it doesn't make sense. Like they showed the tsunami forming, and it's coming towards the city, and really bad CGI, as you can imagine. And there's no devastation. Like, a lot of the film, a lot of the second act is these characters stuck in this shack. Because, the tsunami took over and they're stuck in the shack, and you got the goblin sharks, sort of surrounding the shack, and they're trying to get out. And what's stupid is there's this one scene where one goblin shark comes up the shack. Like, somehow the floor breaks and this woman falls through. She gets eaten. And the boyfriend's reaction is just very bad, very cringy. He's like, no! I can't see how cringy that was. The guy's reaction was cringier. If you've seen it, you know what I'm talking about. And so you got this hole in the shack, like in the floor, and to keep sort of a lid on that hole, they put like a medical cabinet on top of that hole, and they're putting their weight on it. And the goblin sharks are trying to come through. You see how ridiculous it sounds? How I'm describing it? That's this movie. That's Malibu Shark Attack. And you got one or two scenes where the shark, and there's like 3 or 4 sharks. You'll have some scenes like in Toxic Shark, like in Shark in Venice, where the shark will jump out of the water, kill a guy, because why? Why do these films have these sharks jump out of the water? I know people are going to say, what about Deep Blue Sea, where he comes up the hole? To me, that was done better. And it was actually, you had a good cast. I like Deep Blue Sea. Here with these films, it's really bad CGI, especially that one scene in Shark in Venice, where it goes right for the camera, and it's very cartoony. It's really bad. And again, with Malibu Shark Attack, same thing. There's 1 or 2 scenes where the shark will jump out of the water, kill a guy. And, a lot of it, what you see in the water is when they get killed, the water turns red, and that's pretty much it. There's 1 or 2 practical effects in there as far as like limbs and stuff being bitten off. Like you'll see an arm, you'll see a leg. It's practical, okay. But that doesn't, I'm sorry, it doesn't help the film. And you just got stupid shit. You got this one character that wants to save the sharks. I'm like, you got a fucking tsunami coming. Why are you worried about saving the goblin shark? Why? You got the CGI tsunami coming, and you worried about saving the goblin sharks. And then you got this, and I almost forgot about this, which is why I'm glad I write down these things. There's this part in the middle where this girl gets scratched, and I forgot how, but it just seems to go on forever, where this girl, they're trying to fix this girl that got a scratch in her leg, and she's in excruciating pain. And they spend, I swear, about 15-20 minutes on this scene, stitching up her leg. And it just goes so long. And the girl is screaming in so much pain over a damn scratch. And she's getting stitched up, and I'm like, please shut up, bitch. I mean, I know I shouldn't say that, but, it's like, come on, just shut up. This scene is taking way too long. And again, a lot of the second act is these characters stuck in this shack that's in the water. You got the goblin sharks that are on the outside, You got this one stupid scene where this one guy goes to retrieve something, knowing that the goblin sharks are around, and he gets back out. He gets out of the water, like on top of the shack, and I'm like, fuck. Knowing that those goblin sharks around, but again, I know I shouldn't think about it. I shouldn't. But what else? And even like, you can see in the background too, where the shack is in the middle of the water, that there's houses in the background that are elevated. So it's like, and even like there's a couple of scenes in this where you have this newscast. This woman talks about, oh, there's so much devastation. All these people were killed and so on and so forth. But where's the fucking devastation? The only devastation is that the shack is in the middle of the ocean or the water. They didn't even... I know it's cheap. But there's no devastation. They show no devastation. And there's a moment too in the shack where they're trying to communicate on a walkie-talkie, but they have a walkie-talkie in this plastic bag. And I'm like, how are you able to communicate with the walkie-talkie in this plastic bag? Like it's covered in plastic. I guess to protect it from the ocean, from not getting wet. But the lady's talking on the walkie-talkie through the plastic bag with the plastic over it. And I'm like, I mean, come on. It's just stupid. It's like this film's so cheap it was worried about getting their walkie-talkie wet. A $5 walkie-talkie. So we got to cover it in plastic. We got to put some plastic over the walkie-talkie. And then communicate back and forth. And, by the end, and really the last 20 minutes, 25 minutes is sort of a blur to me because I was sort of half watching, but they're able to get out of the shack and they're able to go to this building. You have these other characters on the side that you don't really care for what's going on with them. But they sort of group together and they're in this building which is flooded because of the tsunami. They only use 2 locations in this. You got the shack and you got this building at the end because, that's all they can do with this movie, as far as showing the devastation. But, you got the goblin sharks, they get into this building, they're able to get around, and you got this one stupid scene where they're fighting off one shark, and the girl is shooting the shark with a nail gun. And it's like, ka-chunk, 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 and I'm like, oh my God. I'm serious. This girl is shooting this goblin shark, and you use the nail gun, is just going, ka-chunk, ka-chunk, ka-chunk. I'm like... oh my God. Now, and I forget how some of these sharks are killed off. I know the final shark, the way they kill them off is you have the characters in the room and the shark comes in and you have the scene where everybody has either a chainsaw or some kind of weapon and the shark gets closer to them and they just kill it to death. I mean, they hack it to death and you see some radical blood splatter, but that's not enough. That's not enough. But yeah, I mean, fuck it. Fuck it. But, see, I'm trying to get back to some of those brain cells. But, yeah, Malibu Shark Attack, what more? What more do you have to say? And again, the Goblin Shark, I like the look of the Goblin Shark. I would like to see that in a better creature feature. Give me 1 or 2 actors that I can care about. Not this cartoony BS where these characters are trapped in a shack and you don't care about these characters. You got stupid scenes like Toxic Shark. You got a girl trying to kill a shark with a nail gun. And again, I don't know which is worse. Is it this film or Shark in Venice? It's really where Toxic Shark is stupid. It's a stupid creature feature. You know, I know again, I know I keep saying this, but some people have said that, I could turn off my brain with that one, and that's fine, but I can't like it. It was sci-fi made. And with Malibu Shark Attack, again, we'll see what happens. I mean, we'll see what happens with the other films, but God, it's a runner-up for the worst. And I don't know what this guy's directed, and honestly, I could care less. I mean, I could care less to look it up. It's like a few minutes longer than the first two, so it was harder and it was more boring and just more stupid shit. It had way more. It just seemed to me it had more stupid parts, which is why I'm more ranting in this one. But yeah, that's my review rant on Malibu Shark Attack. Thank y'all for watching, and stay tuned for Shark Man with Jeffrey Combs and William Forsythe. So thank y'all for watching. Stay tuned for more.